All right, good evening. Hello, everyone. Okay, so this is live on TikTok, and for the rest of you, if you're seeing this, you're watching it probably on YouTube. Okay, because on Facebook, I'm only doing posts and reels. You can catch me on all platforms, across all platforms at Texan Tish Tillis. Okay, so I'm Texan Tish Tillis across all platforms. So at the moment, I'll probably start going live every night on IG, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. As well as TikTok. But anyway, for the rest of you, if you're watching this on another platform, it's a replay. But tonight, I wanted to speak briefly about clarity. Two things: clarity and your why. This is going to be brief because my daughter went to state. And for the past 2 days, I've just been run ragged. So I'm really tired. I did want to, for consistency's sake, because consistency is very important. If you say you're going to do something and then you don't do it every day when you say you're going to do it, not only do you let down people who are counting on you or watching you, but you also let yourself down, most importantly. Because, of course, I don't believe it's important in pleasing anybody outside the people in your house. But when you are trying to accomplish a goal that requires, let's say, social media or something of that nature, when you do tell people that you're going to do something, you do need to try and make sure that you live up to your word in that respect. So anyway, I don't have anything prepared. I just want to, like I said, talk briefly about clarity and why. So it is very difficult to achieve anything if you do not have clarity. It's going to be, once again, very difficult to achieve anything if you do not have clarity. Without clarity, you don't know why you're doing what you do. You are literally, and I'm sure all of us at some point in life have been in this situation where we did not have clarity and we were just trying to get to the next day. You're just trying to get through the day. You're waking up, you're rolling out of bed, maybe you're getting dressed, brushing your teeth, throwing something in the bowls for the kids, some cereal, and then maybe you're grabbing a coffee, you're going to work, and then you're working all day, you're coming home, you're trying to throw something together for dinner, and then you just want a little bit of me time. You want to put those kids in bed, get them showered, get their homework done, put them in bed, and just have a little bit of time for yourself before you have to go and repeat it the next day. And a lot of us can stay on repeat that way, where you're just in this survival mode, and you can stay on repeat in survival mode for years. And then one day you wake up and you say, what is this all about? There has to be more to life than this. Who am I? What do I want? Where do I want to go? Do I want to live in this little apartment for the rest of my life? Do I want to, in addition to working my butt off for over 40 hours a week, but not making enough money, I have to get food stamps as well and Medicaid and everything? What do I want? Is this what I want to show my kids? Is this how I want to show up? I'm seeing people on social media and they're having vacations and they're living in these nice houses and they have all these things and I have nothing and I'm struggling to have nothing. What am I doing wrong? So at some point you stop and you sit back and you say, I need to get some clarity as to what's going on here in my life, because I feel like there is more to life than struggling and never having anything. You're working harder than everybody else around you, and you have less than everyone around you. And then God forbid your car break down. Now you got to be the borrower. Now you got to be the borrower. Let me tell you, in life, you are meant to be nothing but the lender, not the borrower. So, at some point, you have to decide. Now, let me tell you, I am not trying to rag on anybody who that is their life. Okay? Not in any way, shape, or form. And if that is the life that you are comfortable living, then please go on living it. I'm not trying to tell you that your life has to be different. But who I am speaking to is those who want their lives to be different. You do want something different. You do want to move differently. You do not want this year to look like last year, to look like the year before. You want your life to look like something else. So now you need to gain clarity. You need to be clear on what it is that you want. Because as long as you are not clear on what it is that you want, you will continue to participate in things that you do not want. I promise you. Until you are clear on what it is that you want, you will not know how to sift through everything that you don't want. You will be distracted. When you don't have clarity, you can come home and you can watch TV for 3 hours. Because you don't understand that television is a distraction that is doing nothing for you and getting you nowhere. When people have clarity, instead of coming home and watching TV, they come home and they work on their dream. They come home and they listen to a motivational speaker. They come home and they read motivational books. And they learn and they grow their library. And they move forward in their personal education. That's when you have clarity, because you know where it is that you want to go. And you know, I don't have the skills to be successful, or I would be successful already. So I need to tap into people who have that knowledge. And I need to do it on a daily basis. It needs to become a routine. Successful people, what have I said before in my other lives? Successful people always have a routine. They always have a routine. They are not just out here doing whatever comes up. People aren't just calling like, hey girl, come over. Oh, there's a sale over there. Oh, I need to. They have a routine. Yesterday, I went grocery shopping. And I grocery shop literally from like 1:30 in the afternoon until like 9 p.m., which is why I did not go live yesterday. Unfortunately, I'm very sorry. I did not mean to disappoint, but I was spent. I had nothing to give y'all because I was spent. But the point I'm trying to make is that was very intentional. My shopping all day long was very intentional so that it was done. It was taken care of. That's how I handle my major grocery shopping. When I do a major grocery shop, it's an all-day shop because I go to several different stores and I do price comparisons and the whole nine. So it's a very long, intensive day. And by the end of the day, I'm irritable and cranky and I don't have anything to give people. But it's very intentional. So that's what I'm talking about. When you are successful, successful people move very intentionally at all times, at all times. They don't roll out of bed and then this and that and this and that. No, they're getting up early in the morning so that they can have devotional time. They can have time with the Lord, or if you're not a Christian, meditation. And then they're going to do their morning routine. And then they're going to work out, okay? And then they're going to eat breakfast. It's very intentionally done. They have a routine that they have found. You have to find your formula. You have to figure out what formula works for you, for what it is that you want to do. If you want to become, let's say, and I can't remember his name right now, the fitness trainer that's all over the place. But if you want to, let's say, become a fitness trainer, Your formula is going to look very different from someone who wants to be a content creator only, per se, right? As a fitness trainer, you're going to get up in the morning and your routine is going to be very heavy on the exercise. Maybe you're a content creator and your routine is very heavy on the exercise as well. But do you understand what I'm trying to say? Chances are what you eat, and how you care for your body, and the kind of grueling routine you're going to put your body through as a fitness trainer is going to be different from someone who wants to be a photographer slash content creator, right? It probably looks very different, right? But it probably also looks very different from somebody who's a stay-at-home mom who's getting up, doing a quick routine, and then she's getting those babies up and she's getting breakfast made and changing diapers and all of that. You have to figure out what your formula is. But before you can even figure out what your formula is for yourself, because your formula is going to be different than anybody else's formula, you need to gain clarity on who it is you want to be. Just because you're this person who goes to work every day and you have the horrible job and life seems to suck and everything else and you can't afford anything, that is not the person you have to be next year. If you start today, if you gain clarity today, you can be somebody different tomorrow and the day after and the day after and the day after. When people look at me, a lot of people who know me, when people look at me, depending on when you knew me, you're going to think of me in a different light, depending on who you are and when you knew me. I'm none of those people. I'm different than the person I was yesterday. I have grown since yesterday. I've grown. I'm different. And that's how you should aim to be. You should be a different person every day. Take a picture, because I'm not the person that you knew a year ago. I'm not that girl. I'm somebody different. Okay? So you need to gain clarity on who it is that you want to be. What is it that you want to do? Okay? Figure it out. Who do you want to be? What do you want to do? You can be whoever you want to be. Just like when you were a child and people said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And you said, oh, I want to be a fairy princess that rides around on a unicorn. That's who you can be. If that's who you want to be, girl, get a horse, put a horn on it, and put on a tutu, and you will be a fairy princess who rides around on a unicorn. You can be whoever it is that you want to be. There are no limits. Successful people understand that. There are no limits. The only limits in life are those that you self-impose, that you put upon yourself. So now you're going to decide who you want to be. How are you going to get there? And then you figure out the steps, step by step, individual step, on how you're going to get to where it is that you want to go to, and how you're going to be who it is that you want to be. If you do not line it out, write it out, step by step by step, I guarantee you're not going to get there. You're not. You don't just wake up one morning and become a fairy princess, riding around on a unicorn. There are steps to this. Where are you going to get the horse? Where are you going to stable the horse? What is the horse going to eat? What are you going to name the horse? How are you going to film the horse? Where are you going to get the money to pay for the stable where you're going to keep the horse? There are steps to every single thing that you need to do in order to become successful. When you see somebody who is successful, whether it's in life, whether it's on social media, whether it's a celebrity or a singer, a pop singer, or whoever, they did not just wake up and get there. They had to go through some things, and they had to go through those things for quite a while. Maybe if you're in Hollywood, you had to do some other things. But point is, it didn't happen overnight. People make it look like it was easy and it happened overnight, but you have no idea the backstory, what went on behind the scenes to get them to where they are, the sacrifice that they had to endure, the goals that they had to hit in order for them to get where they are and to reach the level of success that they have reached. So you have to clarify, who do I want to be? What does that look like? How do I become that person step by step? What are the kind of people I need to contact? What is the research I need to do? Do I need to go back to school? Do I need somebody to take me under their wing as a mentor? What does that look like step by step? You have to have clarity. And then you have to come up with a routine that is going to assist you in becoming that person and hitting those benchmarks that you've set for yourself to get up here to who it is that you want to be and what you want to do. You have to have clear vision. Okay? You have to have clear vision. What it is that you want. You will not get there if it is not written out, if it's not step by step, if you do not have clear vision. Because the first thing that comes along and happens when your mama calls you up and she says, you want to be a fairy princess on a unicorn? That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life. If you do not have ultimate clarity, you know what you're going to say? Yeah, that is pretty stupid, isn't it? Bam! Your dream's already been knocked down. People are going to come against what your vision is for yourself. It is for you. Do not let anybody deter you from the vision that you have for yourself. They're not doing the work. It doesn't matter. They have no equity in it. If you fail, it's not going to cost them anything. Don't let somebody bash your vision. But your vision has to be so clear that nobody, including maybe your spouse, including maybe your children, including maybe your best friend, can come up to you and say, you know what, that's really stupid, or that's going to take forever, or what makes you think that with no experience you can achieve that? Because, baby, thousands of successful people have had no experience in what it is that they want to become, and they have done it regardless. Okay? That's why you tell them, that's why I'm going to be successful, because I have the will to win. I have the will to win. I'm going to execute it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to be successful, period. If you have any negative talk for me, cut them off. Negative talk, you can't have it for yourself. You can't have it from other people. Okay? Period. But you have to be clear. All right? Second thing, you have to know what your why is. If you decide that you want to go hard for something and you're really going to do it this time, you're not going to give up. Even when tough times come, you're not going to get overly discouraged and sad and give up and not do the thing. That's one of the biggest problems that people have. They get discouraged. Discouragement is going to come. There are going to be setbacks. Setbacks are going to come. And you have to realize you just thank the Lord for anything that happens, adversity that happens, because A, the Lord allowed it, and B, you're going to learn from it, which means you're going to be a stronger person in the end, in the outcome, on the flip side, okay? You're going to be a stronger person. So adversity is not something that is necessarily a bad thing, okay? It is something that is a part of life. But if you don't know what your why is, if you are not ever so super clear on what your why is, when adversity comes, you're going to give up. When you're going to say, oh, this is a sign, it must be a sign that I wasn't meant to. No, it's just adversity. It happens to everybody. Nobody has a meteoric rise to the top, and there's no adversity. It's something. It's a thing. It happens to everybody. Okay? So you're going to encounter adversity. You're going to encounter setbacks. You're going to encounter negative self-talk at some point in your mind. You need to rebuke it immediately. You say, I rebuke it in the name of Jesus. Don't let that negative self-talk even take place. Have a space in your head, because it will become the main thing that you're listening to. And if negativity is stronger than positivity, when you're talking to yourself, you're going to give up, okay? But you need to identify your why, because by identifying your why, it's going to remind you when things suck, when the car breaks down, when maybe you get kicked out of your place, why you're doing what you're doing. Like, let's say your why is your children, so that your children can have a roof over their head, okay? That's a pretty clear why. I have to make this work. I have to make something happen. This has to work because I have to put a roof over my kids' heads. I need a car so that I can drive them around and we can get off the bus or get off the subway or whatever it may be, right? You have to have a why, and it doesn't have to be your children. Your why could be because you know what? When I wanted to become a such and such, and I told my mom, and she laughed at me when I was a child, and she told me I was nothing and nobody and no good and this and that and whatever, and I am going to prove to her that I can do it. And this is not my story. My mom was fabulous. Love her. Love my mom. She's completely supportive of me at all times. But the point is, a lot of you did have a mother who was not supportive, who did not perhaps love you the way that she should have, and encourage you the way that she should have, and you gave up on a dream that you had because she was not there in your corner for you. Okay, and now you've decided, you know what, I'm going to go for it. I still want to be a such and such. I'm going to go for it. And that's your why, okay? Your why is deeply and intensely personal to you. You don't have to tell anybody else what your why is, but you better have one. You better have a why, and it better be good, because if you don't have a why and it's not good, you are not going to be able to keep on going in adversity when darkness comes and you are just completely spent. You are completely feeling empty. That why is going to make you get up. That why is what's going to make you get up and keep on pushing and just cry. Cry. Cry until snot's falling out your nose. Cry until your eyes are red and puffy and swollen. But keep on going. That's okay. Take a few minutes or maybe even one day. I have a 24-hour rule. You can only wallow in self-pity for 24 hours because there's something about over 24 hours where it starts to become a lifestyle. 24 hours of self-pity, and then get up and keep on going. So identify your why. Write it down, put it on a wall, write it in lipstick on your mirror in your bathroom. But identify your why and look at that why every day. And that's what's going to keep you going. Okay? That's what's going to keep you going. Right now, I'm in the process of losing weight, and I have a friend who lost 400 pounds, I want to say, maybe 450 pounds. And she is my weight loss inspiration. She's my weight loss inspiration because I'm like, I only need to lose 50 pounds. She lost 450 pounds. 450, that's 2 people, 3 people, possibly. Okay, if she could do that, then I always say, I can do it. Stop making excuses. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. And keep going. Shut up and keep going. Okay? So you have to have a why. You have to have an inspiration. You have to know where you're going or you're never going to get there. If it's all just in your head, I promise you it's going to fail. It needs to be written out, and you need to write it clearly all the time, over and over, and then you need to revise it as you hit each benchmark. Okay, step 1 was this, hit that. Okay. Step 2 is this, hit that. Okay. Now, let me revise where I am. What do I need to do to get to the next step? It needs to be written down. You need to look at it often. You need to revise it. It needs to be like your diary. It's your plan. It is your blueprint. It is your blueprint to success. Okay? And so you need to have clarity, and there's no such thing as too much detail. No such thing as too much detail in your daily routine and for hitting your goals. In your daily routine, write down everything that you're going to do. 6 o'clock a.m. Alarm is going to go off. I am going to get up. 6:05 a.m. I'm going to go to the bathroom. 6:10 a.m. I'm going to brush my teeth and wash my face. 6:12 a.m. I'm going to moisturize. It needs to be that detailed. You need to be that down to the moment so that you have a clear routine. And then what's going to happen after you do it 15 to 30 times it's going to just become like a second skin. It's going to become second nature to you. And you're not going to feel right if you don't do it. You may, let's say, hate working out in the morning, but guess what? After working out for X amount of time, whether you hate it or not still, it's not going to feel right if you don't. Your body's not going to feel right. You're not going to feel good. So that's what I have for tonight. All right. Clarity and your why. 2 very important steps to success. So what I like to do when I talk about success is there's about 100 different steps that are very important in order to be successful. And it may sound like a lot and it may sound overwhelming. Like, Tish, you talked about clarity and why today, and then you talked about discipline, and then you talked about this, and then you talked about that. And you may seem overwhelmed, but what I would recommend, okay, and you can catch all of my lives on my YouTube channel. I don't know how lives work on TikTok. I don't know if y'all can see them after I go live, once it's over or not. I don't know. I have to look that up and research that. But anyway, you can always go to my YouTube channel. And I am currently catching my YouTube channel up, but it's the same moniker as here, Texan Tish Tillis, on all my socials, and you can catch my lives there and get a notebook and write down notes. Okay? And I promise you, if you incorporate all the different elements, which seem like a lot when you're first starting out, but believe me, they're all intertwined. And so soon they won't seem like they're distant cousins to each other. You'll see that they're all siblings. Like everything that I speak on is a sibling of something else, right? Discipline is a sibling to clarity, and your why is a sibling to your goals, right? So they all go together, and you'll see after a while how everything interweaves, and fits together. So, yes, just take a notebook and you can take notes. And that's what I do when I hear somebody speak and they're saying something that appeals to me or has to do with my path, to success. I've got a notebook and I just sit down and pause, and write, pause and write. And I take notes. And then I review my notes and I study them and I read them over and over again. Okay, these are the things that you just have to make the time for. And trust me when I say there are many, 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 many an entrepreneur who works for up to 2 to 5 hours after they get off their 9 to 5. And they work on their goals and their dreams after their 9 to 5. And the goal is, if you are consistent and if you are disciplined, soon your dream will overshadow your 9 to 5 and you will be able to walk away from your 9 to 5. That is the goal. But it's not going to happen if you don't start. It's not going to happen if it's just a wish and a dream in your head that you obsess over, but you don't put any action behind it. So anyway, hope this helps, and I will catch y'all tomorrow. All right, take care. Bye. Oh, I'm still here. How about that? How about that? Y'all, TikTok be giving me problems when it's time for me to end my live. Like on the real. Bye.